walk around video how the car's delivered. It is a bit dirty. We've got a flat tire on this side. We've got a flat tire on this side. And here, there is a small bump. There's a spider web coming out. From underneath, the cover is hanging. There are a few scratches here and there, but I don't see any big dents. The bumper is not lining up 100% on this corner. This side is a bit the same, but no visual damage really. So yeah, looks cool, that looks fine. Yeah, there are some things from the under tray. Bucket seats, no visual damage from here. Is the car open or is locked? Yes, got some bits here. Wing bucks look good. It's a bit of a tear and wear on that corner. Steering wheel, all the handles, all good. There's a bit of a dirt or something. Okay. Okay, no carbon trims. All clean on the back. Okay. Steering wheel looks fine. Looks like the battery is dead completely, or something happened. There's a bit of a tear and wear on the seats here and there, but that's about it. Just check the engine. What condition is it? Okay, so the mine cover is on, filters are on, everything seems to be in place. Okay, so we're gonna take it in. So we have RS4 delivered, 15 plate with potential engine damage. Some say the timing chain went, we will see. And the trailer is a bit low. Hi guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel V8 Technique. So again we have another V8, this time it's an RS4. And this RS4 was brought to us on the recovery truck, as you've seen on the beginning of the video, and it was brought to us by Dan, who actually purchased it, as you can see. But unfortunately there's a mechanical issue. Dan actually contacted me on Messenger, and he was asking me like, oh, I've got an opportunity to buy this RS4. There's a small story behind it, that somebody bought it from the dealership and the car went in a limp mode, so they told him to bring the car down, but the car didn't make it. And I think it was recovered to the dealership. I did notice that the under tray is already missing. So somebody was messing about and the dealership confirmed there's some kind of an engine damage. I'm not sure, but I think Dan told me there's a problem with the timing. So he thinks the timing jumped. So I give him a rough figures. What's the price to actually sort out that? But when the car was on the recovery already and I asked him like, is it still starting and moving? He was like, no, I can't even crank it. Which changed the whole situation a bit, because I can't even put it on the ramp to take the engine out. And I don't even want to do it because, well, first of all, there's no space. So all three ramps are stuck as usual. And second of all, I don't want to remove the engine and put Dan or anyone who's coming to us in a situation when I know the engine is probably seized up on 99% and the car won't be actually resellable, because it's much easier, let's be honest, to sell the car spares or repairs in one piece rather than somebody will strip it in million bits and you have the engine in the boot and boxes and so on and so on and so on. So the plan is, on this ramp, I will drain the oil, if there's any oil actually. I want to remove the sump and I want to check at least what's happening in the sump, if there's some metal beads or whatever. But I personally think there will be quite big bottom end failure for one reason, because the engine is not turning at all. So as soon as you put the key in, this will happen. That's telling us from the experience that the bottom end seized up, or one of the conrod bearings spun and it seized up or whatever. There's no hole in the engine block. I already checked that. We can lift the car up one more time and see for yourself. And basically, from the experience what we've got from the RS5s and RS6 and so on and so on, it is common, well, not common, but it will happen eventually if nobody will change the oil tensioner on the cylinder heads, that on a startup the chain can actually jump around the camshaft adjuster and the timing will be slightly out. The worst one we've done so far was an RS5 where there was even low compression because of the timing was out. So even after we stripped the engine down, we didn't remove the cylinder head, we just done the vacuum test on the valves. There were no damage on the valves whatsoever. So we just retimed the engine with new components and the engine was good. And this is not the case, unfortunately. So to save us a bit of a time and save up a bit of a money and time for done, I will probably just diagnose it first, confirm what's the engine damage, and we will go from there. Of course, when it's gonna come to rebuilding the engine or swapping the engine, it will be quite costly. So we will see. So yeah, we're gonna lift the car up now and we will get to it. Okay, RS4. So this is what I was saying. Somebody done proper diagnostic by removing the cover. I don't see that the oil was drained out. That looks dry to me. To actually drop the sump off, I have to drop the stabilizer link so I can get onto these 10mm bolts behind it and drop the sump. Well, of course I have to drain the oil first. I'll have a look at the filter anyways. The side of the car is sort of like, you know, typical used car. So from my point of view, it will need new suspension arms if the engine will be sorted somehow. And what's really taking the piss, I would say, but that's just my opinion, some say this is just surface rust, but still it's taking the piss, especially when you have an RS4, RS5, the higher value car with 60,000 miles or so, and you find a subframe like this. It's just, it doesn't look right to me. Also, all these holders for the solenoids, you know, I think Audi should do better for the money what they're asking, because it just doesn't look right. But it is, you know, something what can be sorted. You have to drop the whole subframe down, get it repowder coated. I'm not sure about the bush on the rear arm. That looks snapped to me inside. The other one is sort of in the same condition. But yeah, that's something what doesn't bother us too much at the moment, because we can't even turn the engine. The good news is I didn't find any hole in the engine block or anything like that. Or at least I can't see any hole in the engine block. That will be a straight forward diagnostic, like the engine is fully dead and there's nothing good from it. But the only way how to find out, at least by not removing the engine, we gotta drop the sump off. So I'll take the filter off first. I'm gonna put the car down one more time and we will see. Yeah, I mean, the car's a bit dirty from mud, dust and so on and so on, but under these hexalides what we've got here, when you lift the car on a ramp, you can tell straight away if something was painted or not. And this to me looks like it's untouched. So it looks original paint to me. Maybe the front bumper was painted. That looks a bit orange peely. But even when it's dirty, I can tell the rest of the panels are genuine. They were not painted. So yeah, really good sample for the money, I would say. But unfortunately it needs an engine. But who needs engine these days? You know, eco-friendly. Why would you buy a V8 when you can have it on the recovery truck? So yeah, you're gonna remove the oil filter, drain the oil and see what's going on. Bucket seats, love them. The only thing was actually missing are the carbon trims, just the black piano trims. Also, nobody was messing about with the engine bay from the top. Everything is untouched, even the cover is there, and I don't see anything wrong from here whatsoever. But we will take the oil filter out, see what's going on. That will be the first sign or maybe it will give us a small clue what happened, and then we go from underneath again. Okay, I don't see anything stuck, like big chunks or something will be telling us there is a damage so far. So filth didn't tell us nothing. We have to continue from the bottom. Okay, so I know the oil is not warm and it's barely getting out, but I think this is quite old oil. So it's too late now anyways. Okay, so we will wait till all the oil gonna come out. We will drop the sump off, see what's going on. Okay, so I removed the sump and I don't see anything what will tell us that the engine completely failed. Normally this will be full of metal and bronze and whatever. This is the sump. The amount of oil seems to be the right amount of oil, so it wasn't running low oil or anything. I did found only bit of metal, which is here, and the whole sump is a bit, like you can see, it's like dusting a bit. So there is something going on inside, but it wasn't a complete failure, otherwise this will be full of material. But what I did notice it's raining oil a bit from everywhere. What I did notice inside there, I'm not sure if you're gonna see it on the camera, I'll try to dig it out. There is something stuck in the pickup pipe for the oil pump, so I will remove it and I'm gonna try to take whatever is stuck inside out and see what's going on. That'll be the next step. Okay, situation update. So I was checking everything around here. I did manage to get onto the flywheel bolt or the plate. So when I put a crossbar in there and I tried to turn it, the crank basically did turn, which means it's not seized. I don't think it's seized on the mine end or big end bearing. So the crank is definitely spinning. However, I can't put anything in there and turn the engine because there's no space, as you can tell. So I will try to put 24mm socket on here and try to turn it through the belt with through the alternator. I'm still thinking I might take the spark plugs out and stuff, and that will help us turn the engine without, you know, compressions and so on. So probably I will drop the engine now and I will drop the car down and take the spark plugs out, and we'll try to do one turn. If we will do one turn, that means there is a different problem. If the engine will get stuck at one point, that means something happened with the chain, the valve dropped, or something is in the way in one combustion chamber to do a full turn. So, diagnosing continues. So, meanwhile I'm drinking coffee, I'm thinking about the whole situation. The good thing is the crank is turning, at least to a certain point. I still have to take the spark plugs out and I'm really hoping they will come out. I'm just thinking, like, the car was delivered and Dan told me the engine is not cranking at all, so I didn't even thought there might be a starter, maybe, problem, like, you know, or some ground cable or something silly. So we already start doing something bigger, but still it is strange. I think the only way how to find out still are gonna remove the air boxes and we have to take out the spark plugs. If one of the spark plugs will be stuck like it was stuck on the RS5, that will give us a some kind of idea that there might be internal problem, something dropping the combustion chamber. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna finish my coffee and we will take the spark plug down. Right guys, so we found the problem. It's just a spark plug. So I sent the picture to the owner, Dan. He was happy for a second until I continue with the other sentence that there was a drop valve in the combustion chamber number 5. Unfortunately, it's the same side cylinder head as the RS5 was on the ram next to it. So we have to get now actually 2 cylinder heads, which will be a bit of a problem because I did find only one. I'm not sure what happened inside yet. We'll definitely do a quotation for Dan so he has a rough idea from million to 5 million, some kind of an estimate. But it's really hard to tell at the moment because I'm not sure for how long the car was actually running in this condition. All the information what Dan sent me was saying that there was a RPM limitation and a limp mode and so on and so on. And the previous owner, before he got to the dealer and broke down, he was driving the car, or he tried to get to the dealer on, by the car. I'm not sure for how long it was driven like this. And now the question is if all the debris didn't get from cylinder number 5 to the other cylinders, which also happened on the RS5. If it's case of doing 1 liner, it's not that bad. If it's case of doing 4, we have to do all 8 anyways. So we'll see, but we definitely need a cylinder head, which will be a bit of a more expensive. The bottom end looks fine, so that will be probably just stripped down. Everything will be marked up and we will put all the bearings in the position as they were, just put new bolts, all the gaskets, double check everything, check the oil system if there's no debris, but I don't think the debris can actually get from the combustion chamber into the oil system. The other question now is if the debris didn't get from the combustion chamber through the exhaust valve into the exhaust to the catalytic converter and is damaged. So that's another thing what needs to be checked because we are talking easily 1,000–2,000 pounds to do the catalytic converters on these. And it's just one big question mark on the whole car at the moment. But anyways, hello dog. Yeah, the dog's chilling. But anyways, I have to do a rough quotation, see what will be the next step, and probably will end up the video here. As I price up the RS5, the bill was anything between 10 to 17,000 pounds. It really depends what's the internal damage after we're gonna strip the cylinder head off. That will be the key moment to see what exactly we will need. Till then, it's just really big question mark, so I don't know. But yeah, the car probably gonna be here for a while. I'm just gonna put the oil sump back on, so it's not dripping oil everywhere. I'm gonna put everything in the box into the boot, and I will leave the decision onto the current owner. So again, short video, a bit of a boring, didn't fix anything like usual. We just strip things down and tell people the bad news. And we're probably gonna see in the next videos when we're stripping engines and not fixing anything at all, boring stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and take care for now. See you in the next one.